We're here at the microcenter studio and we're going to be doing a new NAS build because I've been hearing so many complaints that we're out of storage even though we have tons of storage everywhere. In all seriousness though, we are running a little bit low on storage. The photo NAS still has plenty of room because photos don't take up quite as much space as video, but we shoot a lot of video, so we fill up a lot of space. So today we are going to be using 7 of these WD Red Plus drives. These are incredible for NAS builds because they can take a lot of vibration and be right next to one another without losing any data or having any integrity issues. And we're gonna put them in this guy. This is the UniFi UNAS Pro. This is the 7 drive variant because we have 7 drives. So I'm going to first get these drives into these sleds, which it looks like there's some stickers that I need to remove before I can get started. So let's go ahead and pull all of these out. So we got this NAS for 2 reasons. One is that it is a 19-inch rack mount NAS, which I'm very excited for because we want to fill up a whole rack. We got one, it's 42U. So stay tuned if you want to see us fill that up. But the other reason we got this is because I don't need this to do other stuff. We have plenty of compute around the studio. So what I need this to do is just be as good of a NAS as it can possibly be and have a really simple interface so that Jordan and our editor Kevin can do anything that they need to do on the NAS without having to deal with any of the Linux trickery that I've had to do in the past. So this is a simple way to do it, and I still get a 19-inch rack, which is really nice. One of the things I'm really excited about for this is I don't have to use a screwdriver to put all these in. This is a toolless design where you just kind of pop it in and then push it down and it's in there. And if you want to remove it, there's a little tab here. You just pull it out and you're good to go. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these in the shell, or the sleds. Make sure that they're facing the right way. Otherwise, 1, they won't fit into the right holes, and 2, you won't get them to work because the interface is on the back. Now, we're gonna hook this up and get everything set up today, but this is clearly not where this NAS is gonna live. Like I said, we have a 19-inch rack just outside. It's full of some other stuff that we're really excited to show you, but we're not quite ready yet. So that's why we're doing everything right inside of here. This is one of the easiest times I've ever had getting these things into a sled because this is a toolless design, which is super nice. And now we're gonna put all these guys in here. And if you've never used a NAS like this, it's actually really easy to slide these things in and out. You just slide it in, and then this lever here, you push in. And if you want to get it back out, all you have to do is push on the lever there and slide it right back out. Now, I don't actually know if this is hot swappable or not. Generally speaking, if you can, I would make sure to shut this off before trying to change drives, even if it is hot swap. Maybe that's just me being paranoid, but hey, data safety is data safety. These are really, really good drives too. These are actually the drives that I use in my NAS at home, although I don't quite have this many, but I have 5 12 terabytes, and I love those things. They're super secure. They pass all my smart checks all the time, and I have one of those in that M5 or N5 from Minis Forum, but they're all WD Red Plus, and they're incredible drives. What you want out of a NAS drive is for it to be able to run forever. Well, not literally forever. Everything that has a moving part will die. That's why we have redundancy. But they'll last a really long time in a condition that is normally pretty hard on hard drives. No pun intended. Because these are all spinning drives, while they're right next to one another, they could vibrate each other. And those little vibrations over time, if these weren't red drives, which are incredible for NASs, they could really damage the drives and you could really lose some data pretty quickly. But red drives are built different. I think we're probably going to end up doing a RAID 5. That's my favorite kind of RAID because it gives you the most redundancy that you can have without losing too much capacity. We have 84 terabytes of total space. Now we're not gonna be able to keep all of that because we do want redundancy. So what we're probably going to end up with is around 60 more terabytes of space in this NAS. And then we're probably gonna back up all of our NASs to that DAS using some Linux trickery that I'm going to do so they don't have to deal with that. But we're going to have plenty of new space, and that should last us, I don't know, another year or so. We really fill up a lot of drives really fast here because video files are huge. They're just gigantic. So we want to make sure that we have everything that we need to do anything we need in the future. Now, this is really interesting. I like this little touch on the Ubiquiti NASs. This looks like a normal plug, right? It's not. There's a little notch here, so you can plug it in, and then there's a switch right next to it. It locks, so you're not gonna be able to accidentally pull that out, which is a super nice feature to have. For now, we're just going to use the Ethernet on the front because, well, we're gonna have to upgrade our whole network to really get the most out of this guy, which I'm really excited about because I've been wanting to use some of Ubiquiti's higher end stuff for a while now. But for now, this will work to get it connected to our network, and we're going to plug it into the Ethernet right here on the front. Oh, and it's got the little screen. This is the tiniest peel of all time. Adorable. All right, so now that we have this thing powered up and Ethernet connected, we're gonna go ahead and add it to our network. You can use your phone to do this, but since we already have our network set up, I'm just gonna use the UI that we have on the web. And there's a nice little screen down here, and that'll kind of guide you through the setup process if you do wanna use your phone. But it looks like we've already found it. It's in the Unified Devices section of the web browser. So let's go ahead and click on UNAS Pro. All right, it looks like it's already got an IP address. Everything is set to go. All right, so I found the IP address of it, and we're just gonna go ahead and log in on that URL. So for us, that's 192.168.1.14, and then we're gonna go ahead and go through the setup process. We're just gonna name this UNAS Pro because it's the only UNAS Pro we have. Hit next. We're gonna do an email. So if you didn't have a UI account, you could use that to create one. All right, so we're gonna go through the setup process here. It sees all of these drives, and they're all Western Digital Reds, and they're all healthy, which is excellent. So what I'm going to do is go with basic protection because we're also going to back this up to another device as well. So we're gonna have plenty of redundancy. We don't need to, we're never gonna worry about more than 2 drives failing at the same time. So let's go ahead and actually, let's see what the higher protection does. Oh, so that's like, it's a split. I see what's happening here. So it looks like this is RAID 5, and then the higher protection is a RAID 10. So it's split, and then each of those things is mirrored. So that's great. Let's hit finish. And now we're setting up UniFi OS. So that'll just take a minute or two. All right, so now I can actually access this from the unifi.ui console. So we're updating that. That'll take about 5 minutes for this to update its operating system. This had, I think this had been in the store for a little bit, so it's gotta update a couple of times. While that's doing its thing though, I do wanna kinda say, it's really interesting that it treats this like it's its own site in the UI. That's actually pretty cool. I never would have thought that they would do that. So if you go to the site manager, this is an old depreciated site that we had from a different router. I just haven't deleted it yet. But the UNAS Pro is treating like it's its own site, and this says the internet is disconnected. I'm not 100% sure why it says that. The internet's been working just fine. I'm not sure if it's some sort of a DNS issue or what, but yeah, it says it's disconnected even though it has been connected for months. All right, so now we are at the actual onboarding here. So let's go ahead and agree to the terms of service, hit start, and here we are in the actual site. So we have our dashboard here. This is throughput for the last 24 hours. We haven't written anything yet, so it's not gonna show anything. This says, do not power off your NAS or NAS Pro or remove any drives. The system is fully operational and will reach optimal performance once the process is complete. This is syncing the storage. This is the drive initializing. So that's probably gonna take a little while, but we'll just leave it on for now. Then it says here, oh, we have 3 protection drives and a hot spare. That seems odd. looks like I actually selected the wrong thing, but because it's so early, we can actually go over here and select RAID 5. If we go over to storage RAID settings, I'm just gonna select RAID 5. It will reformat the storage. That's fine because we didn't actually put anything on here, so it's totally cool. And we're gonna hit apply. Yes, that's okay to reformat. So it's gonna redo all that with a RAID 5, which is going to make this much more storage for us to use. It was giving us only about 36 terabytes, which you could do that with quite a bit more storage, but we wanted to go with the 12 terabyte drives. So, all right, so that is erasing and preparing the storage. Services, we have SMB, that's great. We're gonna need that for all of our shares. I might use NFS here later because, well, I used Linux quite a bit. Time Machine, that's gonna be super great for my MacBook, and we have a couple other MacBooks here. Encrypt the drives, we have that off right now. I'm probably gonna leave that off for the moment because I need to make sure that everybody knows that password. We got backups. So this is a way to do backup tasks. You can actually do this with any UNAS Pro or any SMB server. I might end up using a DAS that we have as our backup, but I'll have to hook that up to a different Linux machine because it is in fact a DAS. So I will have to deal with that later. You can also back it up to Google Drive, which is pretty cool. And then snapshots are incredible because they'll actually do kind of a backup on your machine. So if you have anything that you accidentally delete, you can go right back to the way that was. Services, we already did. Push notifications. Woo, there's a lot of settings in here. I will have to go through those one by one at some point, but that's great that they give you that ability. Our file explorer, which is pretty nice. And then we have system logs and settings. Back to the backup snapshots, shared links. Now that's really interesting because you can share a link to a file that's on this NAS to anyone, and it'll take care of NAT traversal to get them that file, and they can download it right off of your NAS. So that'll be really helpful if we're trying to get somebody a file that they need right now. We don't have to upload it to anywhere else. It's right off of our NAS. That is awesome. We can back up everything that we need, and we have plenty of storage left to go. 72 terabytes of usable storage right here in this box. And if you want a NAS for World Backup Day, you can find one at your local microcenter. Even if you don't have a 19-inch rack, we have plenty of them that will just fit on your desk. And we have plenty of Western Digital red drives that you can fill them with. If you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, and if you want a microcenter near you, put hashtag I want a microcenter near me down in the comments.